How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your January monthly forecast for Capricorn. Oh, Capricorn, we got a lot to talk about. But we're going to work our way from the outside in, talking about this Uranus going direct first. As Uranus goes direct, of course, this isn't really the biggest deal. However, on the 3rd, he will go direct, and then every single planet will be direct at that point. There won't be any retrograde planets for the rest of the month. However, actually, I lied. No, I didn't lie. Everything will be direct. However, Uranus going direct, bringing that, Uranus energy of your home, your private life, what's going on in that area, where your needs are. This past 7 years, you've been really emphasizing, okay, what do I really need? Where do I need to establish myself? Where do I want to, where, not necessarily where do you want to live, but what are the feelings of how you want to live? This deals with your parents, your home, your private life, your needs, where you need nurturing, where you need sympathy, where you need empathy, where you need support, where you need to be vulnerable and trust other people. And Uranus being right here in Aries makes this a little bit of a tricky situation for you. It is squaring your sun and having that kind of energy. However, as he goes direct, this internalization of, finding out what it is that really does excite you, what it is that you need in order to liberate yourself. You could have been a little bit frustrated with it, could have been a little hard on yourself, beating yourself up trying to get what it is that you want and really create that feeling. However, as Uranus goes direct, this is going to be bringing that energy and bringing it into the outside world, where it's now time to really start to take action on the things that you really need, the things that are going to support you. How can you liberate yourself, especially with your home and your private life? Like, what is going to put you in power? What is going to put you in the full focus? That kind of stuff. However, of course, this isn't really the biggest deal, but it is something to bring up as all the planets do go direct. Now let's talk about Saturn. Saturn is over your guys' sun. Big deal. A lot is going to be changing for you guys for the next 3 years. And of course, this isn't bad. It is Saturn, though, so this is pretty hardcore. This is as serious as, the astrology side of things really get, in a sense. However, as Saturn goes through Capricorn for this next 3 years and starts going over you guys, where do you need to realize more of your own true inner, I don't want to say power, but your inner vibration, your frequency? As Saturn goes over your sun for the next 3 years, this is going into your first house of personality, of identity. You kind of have to get a grip on that. Like, what are you trying to project out into the world? How are you trying to be? What are you trying to show? What are you wanting to establish with other people? And the Saturn in Capricorn is looking for you guys to really build efficient, effective results with your own personality and really step out of your comfort zone, in a sense, to really put yourself first and to necessarily get your shit together as far as, who are you? What are you doing? What is going to enhance your natural vibration? What is going to bring almost like the serenity of structure, of discipline? Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but like, as Saturn goes through this part of your guys' chart, this is going to be, I don't want to say a damper on your sun energy of your personal essence, your vibration. However, it is going to make you really look at the facts and the reality of who you are and what you're projecting yourself as. And Saturn's going to be showing you guys that there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do with building yourself back up again. There's a lot of work to do to get yourself back in the flow of things like you've been wanting to. Saturn's going to show you that you need to do something different, have some different structure, set up some more boundaries for who you are. But don't get me wrong, this is also the time to become vulnerable and open with other people. This is the time to look for what your needs are, where you need sympathy, where you need empathy, where you need to be vulnerable and really open up and trust other people. And the only reason I bring that up is because opening yourself up, tapping into your intuition, letting yourself become vulnerable is going to strengthen you and show you a lot of the ways of where you can apply more structure, apply more, effective results in your own personality and your own sense of self. However, Saturn is going to be in Capricorn for a while, so we'll be talking about this for quite some time. However, just wanted to start off, going backwards, forwards. Jupiter and Mars, I almost said Jupiter and Scorpio. Jupiter and Mars are both in Scorpio. This is going on in your 11th house. This is about how finding your truth, finding and understanding what your desires are and how you can give back, finding a sense of almost, I don't want to say like purpose, but a reason to go out of your way. with Jupiter in this part of your chart, you know, you're really like, I mean, friendships are good, social endeavors are good, but what is the meaning? What is the point to all of it? And I think you're going to discover that as Mars goes through here, and we have this Mars conjunct Jupiter going on the 6th, 7th, and 8th. As Mars goes through your 11th house, start connecting to other people, but don't waste your fucking time. Like, don't go, I mean, you may be socializing more, looking for different ways to do things, maybe giving back in a different way, but don't waste your time. Really go for what it is that your desires are. Like, if you want a specific set of friends, get that specific set of friends. If you want, you know, to be doing this, do that. Like, don't limit yourself or deal with other people, like other people's influences around this area. With Jupiter in Scorpio, you're going to be looking at what your personal desires and wants are around your friends, around the people that you surround yourself with, around the groups. And with Jupiter in Scorpio, you got to find the truth about what it is that you really want. What is it that you really are called out to? What is it that you're trying to achieve? What, you know, emotion are you trying to fulfill with going into different friend groups and stuff like that? And as Mars conjuncts Jupiter, this is the time to go out there in the world and don't settle for anything less than what it is that your desires are. When I say that, I'm talking about this 11th house stuff of, like, you know, your creativity, but in the sense of doing something different, giving back, or if you're involved in social groups, or if you have friends and you're still a little bit confused about them, this Mars conjunct Jupiter, I think, is really going to show you guys a different opportunity or different action to take in order to really start manifesting those exact desires that you really want. So as this first week of January comes up between the 6th, 7th, and 8th, really bring that stuff to focus point and, you know, cut away the bullshit. Don't allow yourself to suck yourself down in, you know, shitty environments and shitty friend groups anymore. Don't isolate yourself or don't alienate yourself as well because you may feel judged or too hypersensitive around other people, you know. This is the time to really expand on what kind of beliefs you do have surrounding other people and what that truth really is. So as Mars conjuncts Jupiter, go out there in the world. Go find out what it is that you really want. What is it that's going to serve you and your purpose, and bring to realization what beliefs that you have about other people and friends and community and connecting. However, Mars will then go into Sagittarius on the 27th. This is going to be going into your 12th house where we get a little bit funky. As Mars goes through your 12th house, this is where you're going to start to see a lot more of weird energy take place. Mars being in Sag is very, you know, forward-moving, very exciting, very passionate, almost a little bit, I don't want to say uncontrollable, but pretty extreme. Not like Scorpio, where Mars is very serious and Mars is very hell-bent on getting what he wants. But Mars in Sagittarius is like, he's just gone. He's going. He's like Forrest. He's just running. But this will be in your 12th house where you're going to start understanding where your actions, like what actions you are taking, start realizing and bringing to awareness, you know, what actions you're taking, where your energy is really being called out to, like if you're high in energy or if you're low in energy, and bring that to awareness and ask yourself why. You know, this is going into the part of your chart that we talk about, you know, repressed parts of yourself, unacknowledged parts of yourself, your dreams, anything like that. And with this Mars placement, you're going to start to see action taking place in this really weird and funky way, and you've got to start really realizing, you know, what you're not bringing to awareness, what you're not acknowledging. Like, you know, if you're doing something and something happens, it's like you can't play the victim and blame the world around you. Like, that's you that's creating it, and you have a reason why. And this is in Sagittarius, so you could be very avoidant of the things that you repress and the things that you don't really acknowledge about yourself, both the good and the bad. But really pay attention to your personal energy and where it's going and where it's taking you throughout this. That's happening on the 27th, of course, so more about into February. However, you'll see that in the last couple days of January really start to take fruition, but we'll talk about that more next month. Venus is in Capricorn, so she's going over your guys' sign. This is the time to bring in more self-love to you guys. Stop not loving yourself. Stop acting like you don't need love. Stop acting like you don't have needs or you don't value yourself. Like this is Venus in Capricorn. Like, get your shit together. Like, you love yourself. You have things that you want to create. Really put that self-love focus on you. And then on the 19th, Friday the 19th, Venus will then enter Aquarius, where we get to look at your resources, where your security is, your home, where your money is lying. And with this Venus and Aquarius energy right here going into the second house part of your chart, where we get to talk about, or where we get to really focus on what creative ideas, where you could really put your passion and your heart into as far as creating something for yourself. You know, like, are you feeling insecure? If you're feeling insecure, don't isolate and alienate yourself. Go about in the world. Find some sort of strength with connecting with people. You have that quality with this Venus and Aquarius aspect. Connect with people, socialize with people, enjoy it, and find how that can give you comfort. Find how that can ground you. Find out how that can give you some sort of sense of security. And then, Venus actually isn't entering Pisces till next month. However, Mercury will then be, he's in Sagittarius, he's in your 12th house. This Mercury retrograde might have been really hard for you guys because it's all in your 12th house, really bringing up repressed parts and unacknowledged parts of yourself, kind of looking back in the past, being really avoidant of, what you really need to look at. It could have been really confusing. However, as Mercury's flying forward, take what you've been realizing and run with it. Like, what has been coming up, don't ignore it. Don't hide the truth from yourself. Keep going with it. And as Mercury goes into Capricorn on the 12th, this is the time to start taking all those unacknowledged and repressed parts about yourself, all those belief systems that you have, and what you really, want, what your real, like what the truth is behind what it is that you want and your intentions. As Mercury goes into Capricorn on the 12th, this is time to start taking that mindset and applying it to yourself, going like, okay, I did all this realization, I did all this awareness, now it's time to start applying it to yourself. Don't, take action on doing something for yourself. Take action, and I don't want to say, taking action is one part of it, but Mercury being that mental capacity, the way that we communicate in our internal dialogue, this is the biggest time to really talk to yourself. Like, and when I say talk to yourself, not just like, how you do driving in your car or at the grocery store or anything like that. This is the biggest time to really focus on what your mindset is revolving who you are. And don't limit yourself. Don't act like, everything's fine on the surface. If it's not okay, it's not okay. And be accepting of that. Be willing to move forward. And because this is going to be conjuncting Saturn, you're going to realize where you need to develop a new mindset and in order to create those results that you're looking for, in order to gain more efficiency and better strength within who you are. Mercury will then be going into Aquarius at the 1st of February. So that's a whole nother subject. However, I just want to let you guys know that. I'll be going into that next month. However, you have the full moon in Cancer and the new moon in Capricorn this month. This is a really big time for you guys. With Saturn going in here and with Venus being in here after this Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, this full moon in Cancer is really going to bring up the emotional side of, who can you trust? Who do you love? What do you need? Where do you need understanding and empathy? You can't let yourself put up this Capricorn wall anymore, and you got to let yourself really become vulnerable with the truth and let yourself really dive into, where you do need that nurturing, especially with other people, because this is happening in your 7th house and on your descendants. So, whatever relationship situation you're in, what are your needs? Where do you need comfort? Where do you need nurturing? Where do you need that support? And let yourself fulfill it. It's time to start trusting other people, and it's especially time to start trusting yourself with what it is that you want to take things. And then we have this new moon in Capricorn that's going in on the 17th. This new moon in Capricorn, after you realize what you need, and I apologize, the full moon's going to be on the 2nd and the 3rd, and then the new moon will be on the 17th. And after we have this full moon of the realizations and the awareness, the new moon is going to be the time to set the new intentions with yourself. This new moon is, what a great way to start the new year, to really have that whole new year, new me type of energy. So really keep that in mind as that's going on. Then the sun enters Aquarius on the 21st. The spotlight's not on you. The spotlight won't be on you anymore. And that's what I got for you guys. I just got to emphasize on this new moon and full moon thing, This is the time to really open up. Stop fucking lying to yourself. Stop, being avoidant of your emotions. It's time to look at those. And you're a Capricorn. You don't have to look at your emotions all the time like a Pisces, a Cancer, a Scorpio, or like, a Taurus or anything like that. But this full moon, right at the beginning of the new year, it's time to really look at yourself and stop lying to yourself. Become aware of what your needs are. And stop lying to yourself. Start doing something different. Start letting yourself, take in what it is that what your needs are. Let other people support you. Start taking those actions. And as the new moon in Capricorn happens, that's the time to set the new intentions towards yourself. The whole new year, new me, resolutions. By the way, happy birthday. I didn't even say that. Happy birthday to all my Capricorns. And that's about it. That's what I got for you guys. So thank you guys for watching all my videos, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I'll be seeing you guys next month.